We'll let the speakers make their presentation first. Mute everybody at the beginning. Please introduce yourselves by putting your name, phone number, your email, your website. So there is a way to download the chat afterwards, and that's how the chamber people can all do business with each other. So we'll give it just a couple minutes. Hi, Jerry.
Hello, how are you?
We have something, good. We have something tonight, but why don't we wait until everybody gets on board? And why don't I let you start off with, kick off with talking about the event tonight, right?
Thank you. I'll do that.
Let's just give it a little bit of time. We had like over 100 people register, so let's make sure we give people time to get on. Good, great people, great turnout. Thanks, DeAnne. I saw that you posted it on the LinkedIn too. Thank you. I didn't make it to George Neary's birthday party. I heard it was fabulous. I saw lots of beautiful, beautiful pictures. Everybody's coming. This is great. I have my mask and I have my sanitizer. Do you need the room? I'm sorry. No. I have a surprise, a little cameo appearance. Hold on. Look who's over there. Wave, Bill.
I saw someone's
Bill.
shoes.
Wave.
Hey, Bill.
Bill.
That's what you call socially distanced. Is he at the convention center?
As Jerry knows, today the Economic Recovery Task Force for the mayor, for the county mayor met, and we have to meet in person. So I represent the chamber on this task force. We've been meeting every month throughout the last year that COVID was in session. It is all about economic recovery. This new mayor has really embraced everything that we're doing. There will be an update on the new normal guidelines because that was all about testing, and this now will be integrating the new factor of vaccines. So this mayor is really getting her heads around it, being very proactive, and you'll see some more things coming out of the mayor's office as far as the new normal guidelines. There's a whole marketing group, which is why Bill is here. He's the chairman of the marketing group and sits on the task force with me. There's a small business committee. I sit on the new normal guidelines committee and the small business committee. We meet weekly. So we are listening to everything going on and trying to figure out the best way to put the grant monies in place, help small business and support small business, educate them on the protocols that they need to follow to keep in business, and also to make sure that that education market is marketed out to the public. There's going to be there was a new normals assessment. There's going to be a customer-based assessment that's going to go out, that's going to ask questions from the community and from like the customers. Are you finding that the protocols are being followed throughout the county? Are you employed? Are you unemployed? Is your employer following protocols? So we're going to have another survey that's going to be going out. We'll be working with all the chambers. Of course, we'll put, Jerry's going to put everything behind that and make sure that the more people that are answering the question, the better data they have, so the better decisions that the county can make in the long run. So we just happened to be breaking off of that county meeting, and Bill was sitting here. So it was a little cameo. He's on his own Zoom across across the conference room. So we have quite a few people that have joined. I will call the meeting to order. Chris just called me, and unfortunately he's called away. So he's not gonna be able to make it. He really wanted to be here today because he actually is on the VCA board, which Grisette is the executive director, and so they're very close partners. The mission of the Tourism and Hospitality Council is to engage and be a resource for local companies in the travel and tourism industry and business supporting the industry to achieve success. The council will support chamber members by providing educational opportunities with industry leaders and keeping them apprised of trends and issues affecting the industry. That is exactly what we do at every one of these meetings monthly. We have a wonderful opportunity to access industry leaders and providing us with the latest and the greatest, as it not only applies to Miami Beach, but you know, the Miami Beach Chamber has a lot of businesses that do business county-wide, tri-county-wide, et cetera. So we're looking at it from the micro and the macro aspect. Today, I'm really happy that we have Jerry. So Jerry, I have to tell you, my birthday is next week, and Jerry and I split March in the middle. His is at the beginning of the month, and mine was at the end of the month. So when we worked together, we always had one big cake right in the middle of the month. So I kind of missed that. So anyway, late happy birthday to Jerry Libbin, and I'm going to give you the floor because I know the chamber is getting up and running and being very active.
Thanks. I'll just take a couple of minutes. We had a council chairs meeting on Monday, and we know that everybody is wanting to, you know, get out and start to mix and mingle. We want to caution everybody. We still have to be safe. We still have to be aware of COVID and the protocols. But that notwithstanding, we are getting ready to starting to, you know, meet socially responsibly. We're encouraging our chairs to plan events that are outside, that are socially distanced with masks. And before you know it, we'll be having, you know, both hybrid meetings where we'll have limited numbers that can attend in person, and then others, you know, will attend by Zoom. So little by little, we'll be opening things up and encourage you. I heard today that Publix, you can get a vaccine at Publix, I heard on Mondays and Fridays. They open from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. And if you get there towards the latter part of the evening, when they have people that didn't show up, they have extra vaccines and they'll give them to basically anybody, no appointment. If you just want one, you'll get it. So on Mondays and Fridays, they're doing the Moderna. And on Wednesdays, they're doing the J&J, which is the one-shot vaccine. The other thing I'll just talk briefly about is tonight. We have a very special program this evening at 6 o'clock. It's a mentalist show. It's a community benefit to help raise awareness about the plight of students that are enrolled in our public schools that have no traditional housing. This is like shocking to many, many people, and they hear that we actually have well over 30 kids in our public schools, third graders, fourth graders, sixth graders, 10th graders, that don't have a place to live every night. They don't live with their parents in a stable housing situation. Some sleep in cars, some couch surf. They go from night to night, say, hey, Ceci, can I sleep at your place tonight? I don't have anywhere to sleep. But a good number of them, fortunately, through a project called Project Upstart that we're supporting with this Mentalist show tonight, we are raising funds. If you'd like to donate, there's no fee to watch the show, but if you're interested in donating to it, once you see the pitch from Alberto Carvalho, our superintendent, and our mayor, Dan Gelber, of course, we're happy to accept funds, and it's to help the families who've agreed to take these kids in and provide them with housing and food and shelter and clothing and whatnot. So we really appreciate it. It's 6 o'clock. There is in the link, the Eventbrite thing right there for the Alan Chamo show. So hope you can join us tonight at 6 o'clock. Register early. I think you'll get the login information from Eventbrite at 5:30 if you log in. Thank you.
So it's a free event, but they're looking for donations. Is that right, Jerry?
That's correct. You can buy a free ticket, pay $0 when you go to Eventbrite, or you can pick a price and say, hey, I'll pay $50, $100, $500, whatever you want. Those that pay $50 or more or donate during the show $50 or more will get a copy of our fabulous Chef Cares cookbook, which will feature about 40 local celebrity chefs with their favorite recipes. And we will be delivering you that book, which is a $50 value for that donation if you make a donation of 50 or greater.
Great. Thank you. So I'll see you all tonight. I know for sure that's important. I'm going to segue because we're talking about high school kids. I'm going to hit up Linda Johnson. I've been really anxious to hear about what's going on with AOHT. We're just talking about students in school, so I didn't want to, I'll go with the flow right now. So let us know what your fabulous students are up to. as I said, the Academy of Hospitality, as I always say, the Academy of Hospitality Tourism program is so excellent, and tourism is the backbone of what we do in Miami Beach. It's not that they're going to come and work for us, it's that we're going to go and work for them. So let's hear from Linda and see what kind of great things our kids are doing. You have to unmute. Linda?
Hi, good afternoon. Can you all hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes? Oh, okay. All right. Obviously you all know that things have changed. It's very, very different now. I have majority of my students still at home. So we do Zoom, and not everyone wants to put their cameras on. But however, the students are very well connected. It's just, trying to motivate them. We know it's a challenging time for everyone. And as Mr. Libbin said, that yes, there are students that do not have a place to stay. I have a lot of students also in my academy as well that I know of, but they are excelling very well. We are starting our enrollment for the summer youth internship program that's starting this summer. And I know that we have great partnerships with the chamber as well. So I will be sending the flyer for those of you that would like an intern to work for you over the summer. It starts July 1st to August 2nd. August 5th. And I will send the details and everything to Alicia, and so she can forward it to you all. But I just want to thank you all for your support. Unfortunately, I know we couldn't do a lot of field trips at all this year, so they were very disappointed with that. But we have been doing virtual field trips and then just engaging with the student and encouraging them that we know that Miami Beach is starting to open up, and we have a lot of partners that are ready to hire our Academy students as well. So I really, really appreciate your support for the Academy. Thank you so much.
Ceci, you're on mute, Ceci. Ceci, you're on mute. There we go.
Sorry about that. There I go, just rambling on. So thank you. We as a council have years ago adopted the AOHT. We want to support them in any way that we can when they do have opportunities for mentorships or apprenticeships or shadowing, even their fundraiser. We really want to make sure that we're there for them. And thank you, Linda, for being, in that leadership role. I know there was somebody in that role for so long, but Linda has had this now for the past, 4 or 5 years or something. And
three years and going.
Only 3 years, only 3 years. And she's really done a great job with it. And so we're all really excited about you being there, and we're here for you. So we just wanted to let you know that.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Here for you. Listen, we'll go with Grisette. So Grisette is here from the Miami Beach Visitor and Convention Authority, and we haven't heard from her for a while. I mean, I know her for, 15 years or something. We're partners at the chamber with the VCA, but the chamber is such that we have some members here that have been with us for a long time, and they come to the Tourism Council every month, and they know everything about the city. But there are some new businesses that are in Miami Beach that really don't know what the VCA is, what their scope is, and how they work with the city. I'd love to hear what they're up to now, but if you could just start just a little preface about what exactly is the VCA. Thanks, Grisette.
Well, hi, thank you for having me. The VCA was established in 1967 to promote the city of Miami Beach, and we do that in 3 ways. We have a grants program for events and projects that promote the city of Miami Beach. We have an educational program with Forbes Travel Guide and training our frontline, front of house, and back of house staff, and that's for free for the destination. And we also have a PR agency that helps us promote the city of Miami Beach. So that's the 3 ways we do it. Currently, our grant program is continuing. As you can imagine, we haven't had a lot of applicants because of what we've all been living through for the past year. The good news is that we're starting to see that pick up. for events that have pushed back into the summer months. And we have a few of those. Some events, some of the bigger events have also decided just to skip 21 and stay in their original dates in 22. So we've had some of that. So the first one that we funded, we all know and love, is the South Beach Wine and Food Festival, which is coming in May. They moved from February to May. It's the first big event for the destination. So they've done, Lee Schrager, which I'm sure all of you know or have heard of, has done a lot of work on trying to follow CDC guidelines and all the COVID guidelines from the city. So we're all anticipating that event and have all our fingers crossed that it all gets done well. And so we're also helping Lee promote the destination with some of the celebrity staff, the celebrity chefs that are coming in conjunction and with the leadership of the Bureau. So that's the first big event. Then we have the Air and Sea Show that's coming. And going into the latter part, we have the swim show that's coming. And we have a couple of dance events that are taking place on private property. So we're excited that that movement is there. But we've also lapsed our deadlines. So we're also open if there are any last minute events. We're happy to entertain them and see if they are applicable for funding. Our Forbes Travel Hospitality training continues. We've had a couple of different things that we've developed, and everyone's pivoted, so we've had a little time to think about these things. And we've developed a digital badge when you get the Forbes training. And that digital badge is sent to you. You can add it to your email address, or you can put it on your LinkedIn profile. And when you click on it, it tells you how long the digital badge is valid for. So it's an easy way to determine who's been trained and who hasn't been trained. And it's digital, so there's no paper, there's no sending, there's no finding. And so we're really excited about that. We really want to promote that. And so that's what's been going on. We're just kind of gearing up as everyone's budget was slashed, so was ours, but we're trying to make the best of that budget and spend it wisely. We're hoping that things get better, which, you know, occupancy and ADR has gotten better. And we're hoping that we get through this period and we can continue on.
Let me ask you, so I heard, when exactly is Stubby Wine and Food? It's May 20, right? Is when it starts?
Yes, it's at the end of May. It's the last weekend of May.
Well, I think the last weekend is Air and Sea, right? And then right before that is
right
Stubby
before.
Wine and Food.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So there are 2 weekends in a row.
2 weekends in a row.
Right. 2 weekends in a row, which is great for us.
Mm-hmm.
Great for us. That means that we're going to capitalize on having a lot of hotel space. And also the other thing that I remember from the presentation for the permit is that the Air and Sea Show is going to be on since they're 1 week, they're in sequence, right? 1 week, and then the next week, the Wine and Seafood is going to actually be closer on the south side of Lummis Park, because the Air Show is going to be on the north side. And then the Wine and Food Festival is expecting about the same number of people, but to accommodate for the 50%, they're splitting it in 2 halves of the day.
Right,
so
they're splitting it and they're staggering. So
right.
We've all learned this is an unprecedented situation, and so we're all looking to see how that works out with those 2 events, and what doesn't work, we're going to learn from. And then, as we've learned, at least at the VCA, some of these things aren't going to change back so quickly. Mm-hmm. So some of these adaptations might stick a little bit. So we'll see.
Let me ask you, I mean, potentially there are some people here that might be thinking about, what if I put an event together? How would I apply for the VCA? What are some of the requirements? Can you maybe go over that?
All the requirements are on our website, which is miamibeachvca.com/grants. But really, we have a 3-prong requirement, and depending where you fall on there, depends what you can apply for. But you have to have contracted room nights, contracted impressions, or contracted viewership, and that's as far as television viewership, and you qualify at 2 of 3. So if you're somebody like Wine and Food actually qualifies on all 3, but something like the Air Show qualifies on hotel room nights and impressions. Those impressions can be They can be digital, they can be traditional media, as long as they're contracted and not garnered.
Great. So is there something new on the horizon that you're seeing? I mean, I love that people are coming back.
Well, we're working on that's new, and it's something that we're working on with the department, with the PIC for the City of Miami Beach, is trying to revamp our film incentive grant. We had this grant that has a pool of $250,000, and it's been hard to actually give people the money. So we're trying to review and revamp our qualifications, our timeframes, with the help of the PIC, so it becomes more attractive. And what's attractive about it also is that you can qualify for state when it's available, county when it's available, City of Miami Beach, and VCA. So at some point it can become, you know, worth your while because they'll all be similar. So you only have to, you know, gather those qualifications once and maybe be able to apply for various grants. So we've been working on that over this time too.
Great. We've got people that have been joining. So if you're just now joining, we have Grisette Marcos from the executive director of the Miami Beach Visitor and Convention Authority, which is it's not a department of the city. It's its own authority. Mm-hmm. And it receives, and you have your own board. Our co-chair, Chris Rollins, is on your board. Who else is on the board this time around?
The chair, Steve Atkins, the vice chair, Jeff Lehman, and we have Jonathan Plutzik, Peggy Benoit, Chris Rollins, George Neary, and Stephen Haas.
Ah, it's a great group. Wonderful.
It's a group of all AAA personalities.
You have your hands full, Grisette. We know that.
It's fun. I wouldn't change it.
Before we leave Grisette, I just want to thank Grisette and the VCA board. Have been staunch partners along with the Miami Beach Chambers Visitor Center for years, along with the GMCBB. I see DeAnne Rios on as well from the Greater Miami Convention Visitor Bureau. So we're fortunate, you know, Miami Beach Chamber in having such strong partnerships with the city and with these other entities. So we thank you, Grisette.
Thank you.
Does anybody have any questions for Grisette before we have another speaker as well? DeAnne? I know DeAnne had her hand up for AOHT, but I know she has a question for Grisette as well. You have to unmute. There we go.
Yes, thank you, Alicia. Yes, I did have a question, Grisette. It's so great to see you. I've actually had two questions. There was a video that was done a month or so ago through the VCA that was to help promote Miami Beach. And the charter agency, one of my clients, was fortunate enough to be a part of that video. But the person that took it kind of disappeared, and I haven't seen it. There's no link to it. Can you maybe help me find it?
Absolutely. Okay. We've been doing a social media campaign, which basically Miami Beach through the eyes of the local.
Right.
And so our PR agency took a lot of those, but I will find it for you and I'll send it to you with the link so you can promote it.
Okay.
We'd love to.
Thank you very much. And I had a second question. I'm excited to hear about the start of having some events coming to the city. And of course, we all know what's going on with the spring break. Is there a suggestion that the VCA might have as far as programming that we can maybe think of doing for next year through you that would be something that would be supported that could help maybe alleviate some of the situation? I know we have Kevin Kruger on here that has some ideas for health and fitness. There's some people that were talking about doing multi-ethnic events. Is that something that the VCA can get on board with?
The board has not discussed funding particular or any type of specific events. And usually for these high impact weekends, the city of Miami Beach has some pretty strong rules and requirements. So I believe that you would have to start with the city because they're considering programming and they're considering what type of programming they're going to allow. So you have to kind of go through their permitting efforts first before you ever get to us. So to answer your question, the board has not considered that because it's in the city's purview first.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
It's certainly in top of mind of everybody in the city, and especially people in leadership roles like what you have at the board. And I know that people have been really wanting to engage to figure out, what's the best course of action and how can we, how can we move forward in a positive way. But thank you so much, Grisette. I mean, I appreciate you being here and taking the time. What you do, I mean, you've been doing this for a while, and what you do is really important to us. So anyway, and we always see each other on different webinars. So
anytime.
Maybe one of these days we'll see you in person.
I'm much larger now.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you, my friend. And speaking of, we've been on webinars together. I will bring on Miguel Pena, who is the head of the South Florida Concierge Association. I have actually been fortunate to be on their monthly webinars throughout COVID. So we've been friends. I think I add color commentary, but the other thing is that Miami is Miami, but it really is a lot to do with South Beach and Ocean Drive, and that really kind of tells the pulse of what's going on. So anyway, I've had the joy of being on with Miguel every single month. He's a wonderful locutor, which is what my father would say, which would be like the radio anchor. But he's really been struggling and really looking at every little thing that's been going on throughout this entire COVID and how the tourism industry is recovering. These concierges are so pivotal to our business, making sure that they're in and that they are in the know. So with that, Miguel, I want you to please talk about what you're doing and how the association is and what you're going to do to move forward. Welcome.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Perfect. Yeah, because I'm having a little audio problem on my end with you. So thank you for having me again. We've had some amazing conversations regarding hospitality and tourism. It's been a great time, and it continues to be great. It's completely changed us from where we were a year ago today until what we are now. And more so, the concierge community has been out of the loop for the longest. I've got two cameras going. I don't know which one is better. Hold on, I'm trying to get the audio. We've been out of the loop for the longest, that the concierges now, as they come back to their hotels, need to understand and need to reorientate themselves to the city. More so, they need to know what the restaurants are open, what venues are going on, what's still not a in-person event, and the capacity of the restaurants, indoor, outdoor seating, so on and so forth. So it's been a very challenging but fun time trying to get everybody together and trying to get all that information. So we've been very busy in that sense, trying to get all that information with our members. Hence is the reason why we do these monthly talks with Ceci and Wendy, as well as John and Gisela, and get everybody on the same page of what's going on currently and what's moving on in the future. And that in those conversations, if you haven't been able to take part, we talk about hotel occupancies, we talk about the STAR report, we talk about passenger loads on Miami Airport, and then whatever the current events are. Just recently on Tuesday, we had a call where we talked, Ceci was very instrumental in telling us about what was going on with the spring break and that March Madness. And we got a better understanding of where the city is and what they want to do and where they need to be in order for things to improve and make life equitable for not only the residents, but the visitors that are coming to South Beach and overall South Florida, and ensuring that the restaurants still have a viable means of providing a business and attending to the public with controlled access of sorts. So it's been a very interesting time. I'm glad to report that we have a lot of hotels looking for concierges. That's a good thing. And hopefully they'll continue to look for concierges. I know it's, like I mentioned many, many months ago, it was an employer's market where not many jobs were able to be had. So many people were furloughed and possibly completely laid off. But now it's become an employees market where there's such high demand for employees, particularly concierges, also front desk, that there's not enough to go around. And to some degree, it's become a bidding war between properties where they want to make sure that they get the right person, the best candidate for that position. So very interesting times.
So are you saying that they're doing, I mean, the concierges are already at work, I'm sure, because I've seen some of that. Are they looking for more outdoor excursions? I mean, the clubs are closed at midnight. There is a midnight curfew. I'm getting some feedback. I don't know if everybody's getting that. Sorry.
And they're, I think that's me. I don't know why. There looks like it's more outdoor excursions. They're looking, if you have anything water sports related, I'm sure DeAnne has been, it's easy to promote her business because it's a no-brainer. The yachts, charters are. Can you hear me now? One second, let me go to this. Let me try something. 1 second. Give me 1 minute.
I hear you, Miguel, but if you are going in two different devices,
yeah,
that's probably.
I'm kidding. I'm cutting off of one and coming into the other. 1 second.
There you go.
I think that's what it is. There we go.
Okay, we can hear you. Oh, no, we lost them all together. Bear with us. Welcome to Zoom world. You know, a lot of people are going to continue with the Zooms, even if they are going to be able to meet in public and more vaccines are being taken and people feel more comfortable. It's just expeditious, you know, to be on a Zoom instead of driving and parking and paying for parking and reduction of parking. I don't know. I tried to get to South Beach the other day. It was 11 o'clock in the morning and I couldn't even get into a garage to pay the exorbitant rate that the garage was charging. You know, I had to get a friend of mine give me a residential pass so I could park in Flamingo. I drove around in circles, and I'm the executive director of the Ocean Drive Association. I couldn't find parking at 11 o'clock in the morning. So, you know, it's kind of tough. It's it's starting to be a walkable area. Miguel, we got you back. It's starting to be more of a walkable area, and what we've seen coming to the city are requests for rezoning to allow for office space. We live and play on South Beach, but working is difficult. Office space is difficult unless you work in the industry, right? So anyway, just to let you know, I am filling in some time, Miguel, but you're back.
Perfect. So regarding the biggest requests, water sports are first and foremost. Then anything that's nature related, such as the Everglades, eco tours, things of that sort. But as far as water sports, jet ski, kayaks, yachts, boats, anything that's water related is definitely top of list. And that's quite challenging for our concierge partners because, you know, people come and everybody has a demand for the same exact thing during the same exact time period and is not enough to fulfill the demand. But they make do with it and things happen.
Hotels are full?
Hotels are full for the most part on weekends. Hotels on the beach are jam-packed weekend. We also in the downtown area because they're getting the bleed over from the beaches. During the week, they pace at about 40%, more or less is what I've been told. But they've been very busy. Keep in mind that they're all transient guests. Where before you had the mix, you had the group business, you had those business travelers that really didn't utilize the concierge. Now it's more everybody's transient. Everybody has a question and everybody wants to speak to the concierge. So it actually helps us because those hotels that don't have a concierge for whatever reason, they either chose to furlough them or eliminate them altogether, now become quite of a challenge because they have concierge-oriented questions that although the front desk agents are great, they may not be able, they may not be suited with the information to answer those questions adequately.
Yeah. So water sports, and somebody wants to make a comment about water sports. Oh, DeAnne.
Yes, I wanted to make a comment because there has been a number of things in the news lately about the parties on the water and the illegal seizures. And I just want to make a comment to those of us in the hospitality industry. We have to be very careful with the yacht charters because there are a number of brokers that are unscrupulous, sadly, and they will put more than 12 people on a boat. They will have a captain that's drinking with the crew. They will not have the proper fully insured vessel. So I want to encourage you to be careful and be very strategic when you do refer a yacht charter. Of course, we're the best, and every single one of our boats are fully insured. But I do want to encourage to be careful with that, because there have been captains that have lost their license, and there have been people that have been seriously hurt. So it's a big issue, and of course, we know the partying on the boats can get out of hand, and there has been a lot of problems at the marinas as well. So it's also another concern for our police and our Coast Guard.
It is a concern for the police. I heard from our neighborhood resource person that they have not ever had this kind of activity at the marina during this time frame. It's a brand new phenomenon.
Yeah.
Is
Because the clubs
utilizing
are closed. The clubs are closed.
Clubs are closed.
So when you're not paying $1,500 a bottle, you can pay $1,500 to go on a boat and bring your own liquor, right? So.
Right. And I think that it's a trend that's not going to end. I think they're just finding this new, new opportunity to have some recreation, and it's probably going to continue. So we just need to take a look at that really closely, especially as people in the concierge industry and in the hotel industry. We have to just ensure that our guests are being safe and they're doing it correctly. When you're, referring things over, that would be probably one of the biggest things.
Correct.
Good.
I hope.
Anything else to add?
Well, I hope, pray, and trust that they do have, they do their due diligence in identifying and recommending companies that are legitimate, and not Manny and Pablo that just got a boat over at Boat Company and want to see if they can make a few extra bucks and offset the cost of the sale. So they just decided to be boat charterers, so to speak. That it does happen. Thank you very much for bringing that up, DeAnne. It's true. It is evidently true.
Right. There's a lot of people that are going to try to capitalize. And when I had a call this morning, people are looking, at vacancies, and they're like, oh, they're going to be desperate because somebody just closed and they're going to have an empty space. And I'm like, in our district, nobody is going to give you a really great deal on a vacant property. You see vacant properties on Lincoln Road. Properties know that they can get a top dollar for their or square footage for their rental square footage. They know that if they hold on long enough, it will subside and the economy will bounce back. So, you just have to be really careful of people God bless American ingenuity, right? And people going out there and trying and starting their own business and doing it, but just do it right. I think that's the message right now, is just do it right. Does anybody have any more questions for Miguel? I don't see any. Miguel, any final thoughts?
No, just although it's a challenging time, we will get through this. I know I read somewhere, I don't know where along the way, that this pandemic won't define us. It'll actually reveal our true potential. And it's bringing out the best in most people. And we are, as we look back on this a year, 2 years, 5 years down the road, you say, you know what, I didn't do too bad. The challenge, we rose to the occasion, we overcame the challenge, and we're better in the end. And I think that needs to resonate with many.
So let me ask you a question. Somebody just asked me for your email address. Would you put your contact information in the chat, Miguel, for everybody?
Sure, of course.
So if anybody has any follow-up, the Concierge Association has concierge as members, but I think you also have third-party affiliates, right?
Correct. We have concierges both in the residential community as well as the hotel space. And then we have a category called corporate sponsors, where these are businesses that would like to communicate with the concierges, either residential or hotel, and with the hotel guest or the residential guest being the end user. So it's a great way to promote your business without having to go door to door. You can actually go through us and we can assist you in facilitating your endeavor.
Miguel, I have a question, if I may, Ceci. The Concierge Association is so critically important to the whole infrastructure of the hotel industry and our tourism. And I know that, in the height of the pandemic, a lot of the hotels were closed or almost closed, and were on skeletal crews. And unfortunately, that meant a lot of people being laid off, including the concierges. Hotels seem to be coming back. I'm seeing ADRs, and occupancy rates climbing. And I'm just wondering, is it commensurate with the reemployment of the concierges? How are we doing in terms of percentages of concierges coming back?
Definitely. The more so the full service hotels are now out there looking for concierge teams not just one or two, a whole team of concierges, because they realize the need. As those guests come up to the desks, they're asking for concierge-related questions that the current staff can't accommodate. And the last thing they want to do is lose that guest for the future. They got them now, but will they get them back? And that's where the concierge is key. Again, this whole pandemic has made us with so much protocols in place. And I know, Ceci, you mentioned a whole new set of standards that are rolling out from the county and the CDC. They're all designed to ensure our safety, but we've become so tech savvy and so stuck to the rules that we've lost that personal touch. And that's where the concierge brings that personal touch, brings that element of the body, of the spirit of hospitality with those individuals. And we need them. We definitely need them. And I've mentioned this many times before. Hopefully that it'll continue to resonate, and we'll continue hiring more concierges. And those that are still seeking employment, that are not working in a current capacity, will find employment soon. We're doing everything we can on our end to ensure that everybody gets placed very soon.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jerry.
Anything else? I kind of want to open it up for anybody who has anything that they want to talk about. We have, usually we go till at least 1. So we've got some time. Anybody want to share? This is your time. You can share. I do. Okay, John Stewart is on the line. John Stewart is our vice chair. He's over tourism and hospitality. As a vice chair of the Miami Beach Chamber of Commerce, welcome, John. Were you having lunch? Did I interrupt your lunch?
Oh, I'm now able, am I unmuted? Okay, perfect. No, I wanted to tell you how great this is. And yes, I was having some lunch, but so I usually have my camera on, but I just want to say what a great job I think you guys are doing with this. DeAnne, do you have your hand up? I didn't really want to be, okay. I'll just say hi and let DeAnne talk, because she has more interesting things to say than I do. But I just want to say how impressed I am with this group, and how amazed I am by the resilience that I see in hospitality and tourism, and all the ways in which you guys are kind of, I know there are challenges, but in so many other ways that aren't mentioned in the newspaper every day, you guys are really innovating and reaching new heights and doing amazing things. And so,
John, before you jump to DeAnne, could you just give an executive level high view of the project that we've been working on? Because a lot of the folks here, could ultimately benefit from the Miami Beach Buyers Club. So why don't you talk a little bit about what your team's been doing and how this is rolling out?
So I've been working with a team of computer scientists and designers, UX, UI designers, to work on an idea that actually came from Jerry. And Jerry was working with I think it came from a conversation with other chambers about creating a buyers club, in this case for PPE for hotels, restaurants, small businesses that otherwise can't get PPE at wholesale prices, and to create a kind of an app that would be kind of an FIU chamber named app, but run by a private entity that would help to distribute this. And while we need PPE, and hopefully that will be gone soon, I'm not entirely convinced it will be completely gone soon, but it will transition then to wherever we go in the future. And we've been thinking about it transitioning to help businesses, hotels and restaurants purchase green products, for like paper straws and bamboo silverware and things like this. Also green supplies. I mean, it could be green PPE supplies, green disinfectants, green, so that we have a way for people to get the products that they need at the best prices that they can get. And we've actually been working with a team of students and the students have been paid by the National Science Foundation. So the National Science Foundation is very interested in this technology going into business. And we would be one of the few places where this will be successful if we can get this app off the ground. So really, thank you, Jerry.
So important. I will tell you, so when they started making us use mandating paper straws and paper containers, and all the outdoor restaurants and the cafes. The thought was, let's put together a consortium so that we can all purchase it in bulk and get it in there. It was hard to get because it suddenly went, it was widespread throughout all kinds of coastal communities, but it wasn't just a bunch of businesses that could do it. They needed this, right? They needed, the university and some leadership and some technology, but the want was already there. The energy and the need was already there. So I can imagine that this is really going to blow up, and in a lot of different ways, not just PPE. But I kind of agree with you that PPE is not going to go away completely. I will tell you, I've not had COVID, but I haven't been sick all winter. And I usually get sick. I usually get the flu or bronchitis or something, and I haven't been sick all winter. And I have to tell you, this is more than just for COVID. This is keeping everybody's germs away from you. And I think that's a positive thing. So we're going to have a healthier, all together community. So you're right. I don't think PPE is going away completely at all. And FIU, will you maybe tell everybody, because not everybody knows you, almost everybody, what it is that you do at FIU on Lincoln Road?
Right. So I'm an associate dean for cultural and community engagement. So I'm we have another associate dean who looks inward and works with the faculty. I work outward with outside entities to kind of bring what the university can provide to communities into the community. And I'm in a college of communication, architecture, and the arts. So we have journalists, we work closely with our colleagues in hospitality. We have artists, architects, musicians, and we work closely with the Betsy Hotel on a series of projects, cultural projects. And on Lincoln Road, we have a space two spaces actually in the 420 Lincoln Road building just above Zara. One of them, we have a large 3D printing lab above Zara where we printed 10,000 face shields for Baptist and the Miami-Dade Fire Department and Police Department and others. And then we had, and we're opening a storefront gallery space for artists on the first floor, right next to Subway on Washington Avenue in the 420 Lincoln Road building on Washington between 16th and Lincoln. So it's exciting. We just washed the windows in case you walk by, you can actually see in the space now for the first time. So
did exciting. I ask you? I was reading the chat. Are you open? Are the students coming to?
Yes.
The property or no?
Yes, we're open and students are coming to the property. And interestingly, today's class decided that they were going to stay on Zoom because of the news. They were worried they wouldn't be able to get back because it's Thursday night with the 8 p.m. curfew. So today's class decided not to come in, but usually they do.
There is an 8 p.m. curfew. There is a 7 p.m. closure of sidewalk cafes. There is an 8 p.m. curfew. There are restrictions on the causeways. Residents are going to be allowed to come in. Hotel guests, this is really important. Hotel guests need to provide their guests with proper identification. So the key cards, some of them don't have the hotel logo on them or any kind of significant markings. What the police and people have been asking, code, etc., have been for the confirmation email. So either digitally, you have that on your phone, the confirmation email, or you might want to ask the front desk to print something out. Any time after 8 p.m., my phone's probably dead. So I would have the printed version on you as well, but that is what you're going to need. Hotels are allowed to provide their guests with food and beverage. So you may see hotel lobbies being serving their guests with food and beverage. They are allowed to do that, but the only people that they can serve are their guests, the people that are staying in their hotel. So that is what's happening tonight, just to be very specific in case people want to know the nuances. I know that Kevin Kruger has put something about the chamber overall. I know Robin and Jerry and the chamber board are getting involved with what's happening today and moving forward and working very closely with different committees. John happens to also serve on the Art Deco Cultural District Mayor's Panel. So does Robin Jacobs. We're very well represented. I think what Kevin, you're suggesting is for the board of the chamber, not for the council, but it's very important that we play a significant role, as we did for economic recovery from COVID. And we've said this, listen, the chamber played a very significant role in giving guidance for this city to get through all of the nuances going on through the county, all the politics with, you know, opening and closing and, you know, all of that going through and those agendas. And Jerry and Robin, I have to give my hats off to you, Lyle Stern, and all the other committee chairs of those different subcommittees for coming up with a very concise and comprehensive recommendation list and having the ear of the powers that be at the city. That's the mayor and also some of the other commissioners, as well as the city manager, in getting through and open through COVID in a very in a very good way. And I think that that is what's essential for moving forward in this area we're also facing. And you'll see more coming out of the chamber as we move forward. I know a lot of different areas. MBU is having a meeting and a panel discussion on it. I think a lot of every single organization dealing with business, dealing with tourism, every board is talking about that right now. I think from my perspective, we've had issues every year for the past 10 years. I immediately would like to jump on it in April, but the discussion has a tendency to wane because it's exhausting. So the tendency has to wane, and then they pick it up later on in September, October, November. There's maybe a plan, and by then it's too late. So from my perspective, we do not need to let up right now, and there needs to be a lot of positive conversation going on and some implementation. Because it's definitely going to
I think we just lost this.
March is a place. Did you hear me at all?
Ceci, you became unstable connection there, so we lost most of what you said. Maybe we'll call on DeAnne, who wanted to say something.
Sorry about that.
Back to.
No worries, no worries.
Yeah. DeAnne, did you want to add?
Yes, I just wanted to. First, I want to thank John for being here. He's an absolute phenomenal resource that I encourage everyone to see what FIU is doing and how you can partner with them. I know from the Women's Business Council perspective, we're very excited about some new initiatives we're looking at with their Women's Studies Center. So encourage you to reach out to John and FIU. I wanted to just say, circle back to AOHT, and I don't know, is Ms. Johnson still on the line? I, myself, and John Copeland are privileged to be on the advisory board for the Academy of Hospitality and Tourism. We just had a phenomenal fundraising event where we brought together our students in various genres. There were dance, there was culinary, there was art, and we showcased our hotels. The Sagamore was brilliantly showcased, as well as the Red Rooster restaurant, and a number of other cultural things around Miami Beach. And what was really exciting was to have most of the work done by our students. And I want to encourage everyone here to please reach out to AOHT. I think Linda did put a link in the chat for interns. And I will remind you that these interns are getting paid by a grant that is given by Miami-Dade County. So they are being paid to help you in your business and to get experience from you. And as Ceci rightly says, the industry is, we need these young people. I mean, we're going through a lot right now. And I know I wanted to ask Ms. Johnson if she's seeing a decline in the students that are looking to be a part of AOHT, because there is so much, the parents are not really looking for their kids to be in this industry because of everything that's going on. But I want to encourage you that we need these young people, and the ones that are going through the program need your support. Thanks, Ceci.
You're welcome, DeAnne. Listen, Miguel, are you still on? DeAnne, we always love hearing from you. You're in the know. You're in the know. Okay, if Miguel is not still, yeah. Can you tell us about the Brian Williams? I'm reading about this. I know we've been talking about it for a while, but if you could just go ahead and make the announcement.
You have to unmute.
There we go. Now I'm unmuted. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
Perfect. So Brian Williams, I know some of you have met him. I've had the pleasure of meeting Brian Williams in 2010, 11 years ago in May. It was at the Biltmore Hotel. And I've seen many speakers, but this man literally blew me away. We've hired him in person about 4 times, and I've had him travel to Brazil and around the Americas on behalf of Lake Leidor, the international organization I'm part of as well. So in speaking with Brian, we've come to an agreement that he will give me an hour and 15 minutes of his time. He's going to broadcast live from his residence in Virginia and do a motivational speak. Now, the auspice of this speak is to, in our lives, especially this time more than others, we all have mountains in front of us, whether it be a spiritual mountain, an emotional mountain, hopefully not a physical mountain, but a professional mountain. He's going to talk about overcoming those challenges that we have in our lives and moving forward and climbing that proverbial mountain. So if you have the time, 9 a.m., April 23rd, it's a Friday. It'll be a great way, a segue into the weekend. He is an amazing speaker. The hour will go by like this. He is totally dynamic. We will be sending out the link through various platforms so everybody can join in. And by all means, share it. We've bought 1,000+ licenses, and the more the merrier. So we'd love to have you on board.
Great. Alicia, maybe we can share that through our Tourism and Hospitality Council as well.
Yes,
Sure.
I actually just asked Miguel for the working file so we could share it.
We'll send it over.
I'm really looking forward to that. That's great. I mean, you know, I don't know about everybody else, but I'm exhausted. You know, I have some things in place. I think Jessica Francos from the Clevelander is on. She's on the board of the chamber as well. And the Clevelander made some very bold decisions and moves to be partners and collaborate with the city. But I have a big WhatsApp. Oh, wait, what? Look! Look!
I've had both my shots. Okay, watch this. Have you had your shots?
No.
Oh, no. Well, I've had my shots. I'm safe. I'm safe.
I'm too young.
You're too young. That's good. I like that one. We're here at the county. Good things are happening here at the county.
My internet connection is unstable.
Yeah, unstable. That's because of me. Every time I show up, that's what happens. Thank you, folks, for all everybody. Thank you.
Irrepressible Talbert. The irrepressible Bill Talbert. I'm sorry. Thank you. Like I was saying, Jessica Francos is on the board of the chamber right now, and the Clevelander made some very bold moves under some new leadership and some new ownership, and you know, we look forward to their partnership. Also, you know, it's hard on Ocean Drive. Do you open? Do you close? You know, there are great tourists that are out there, but you know, I had also a situation where one of the cafes was so crowded that their guests could not get out and nobody could get in. So it's a phenomenon. It's a situation. We're all assessing it and we're trying to figure out the best way to move forward. I have a chat group with over 70 people that are frontline workers on Ocean Drive and Collins. So we're constant communication. I haven't slept very much in the past couple of weeks, got to tell you the truth, but we're doing our best to be there for our staff, for our industry. That's the most important thing, is to make sure our workers are safe, our guests are safe, and we prosper as business and part of the chamber. So with that, I want to thank Grisette for being with us. Thank you so much. You're a wonderful partner. We love you, and we're so happy that you could join us. And we're here every single month. If you ever need us for anything, we're here for you. And the same thing for Miguel. And thank you for having me every single month as part of the South Florida Concierges. Miguel, thank you so much for the concierges and everything they do. They are the elegant face of Miami and Miami Beach, and you do the best to represent who we are. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Pleasure.
If no one has anything to add, I'm going to sign off. And Jerry, thank you for being here. John, you're a great vice chair of the chamber, such a huge contributor, FIU. DeAnne, Women's Business Council chairman. I don't know if I'm missing anybody else. My screen's kind of small and flipping around. We have board members on here. Jessica Francos, thanks for joining us. I'm looking, I don't see any of the board members. I'm going to thank Alicia Party, who keeps us online as a staff member. She is the one that guides all of our work that we do through the council. I am going to thank you from my co-chair, Chris Rollins, who at the last minute wasn't able to attend. As you can imagine, the largest hotelier in the city, with the majority of his spots are in South Beach. He's got his hands full right now. Also on the GMCBB board, Bill tells me, also on the VCA board. So he does have his hands full. The last thing I'm going to say is, Kevin Kruger, thank you. You're everywhere. You're here with us, and you're always a supporter. I love the freebie. I'm trying to get the freebie on Ocean Drive. Still working on it. Good night, everybody. Put your stuff in the email and go to those 3 little dots at the chat, and you can download the chat. So Alicia, keep it on for just a little bit so people have time to put their information on the chat. You go to the 3 little dots, hit more, and it will say download chat, save chat. You can do that, and then you'll get everybody's phone numbers and contact information. Thank you. See you next month. See you tonight. See you tonight. The chamber event tonight.
God love you. God love you. That, you know what? Gilbert is smarter than I thought he was. So where's the